Dzień dobry wszystkim na kanale Przegryw. Dzisiaj będziemy premierować Detroit Become Human od Quantic Dreams. Jak wiecie, kocham Davida Cage'a, kocham Quantic Dreams, chociaż Beyond Two Souls moim zdaniem było chujowe. Możecie się nie zgodzić.
Hello, my dear.
Idziemy tutaj, do Warsaw Spire, do tego pierdolnego budynku na 38 piętro, gdzie odbędzie się pokaz przedpremierowy tego. Jestem niezwykle ciekaw, co to będzie, bo właśnie nie wiem, nie mam bladego pojęcia, czy to będzie kolejna gra z cyklu Quick Time Events Forever, czy będzie to jednak coś nowego, coś świeżego. Zobaczymy, no tematyka jest jak najbardziej na czasie, roboty zyskują świadomość i przejmują świat, no. Chodź. Żarcie. Hania.
Dzień dobry.
Co tam?
Bardzo dobrze, jak tam twój synek się czuje?
No wiesz, no nie chciałem mu zrobić krzywdy. Po prostu źle się zachowywał, no.
No i przestań. Ty to masz zawsze fajne buty, ja nie wiem, no.
O, co to jest, Barty? Halo? Halo? Mama? Nie, znowu roboty przejmują świat. Aha, i udostępnię albo SMS, albo e-mail. Na pewno podam swoje dane. A to Detroit to jest o Eminemie, tak? Ta gra? O jego karierze, o 8 mili. No dobra.
Maybe you think this is easy. Maybe you think it's my fault your fucking mother took off. Fucking whore walked out on me for a fucking account.
Jest historia o Eminemie na 100%. Ja nie rozumiem, teraz wszyscy w Black Mirror i tak dalej mają to kółko tutaj świecące. Wszyscy. 15 sierpnia 2038. O, jestem tym złym. Taki Two-Face z niego, Harvey Dent. 69 było tam. 69 piętro. Szkoda, że się na nim nie zatrzymał. Aha, dobra. O, fajne, płynne przejście z cutscenki. Nie można biegać, nie można skakać. Klęknij. Wciśnij kwadrat, żeby oddać hołd. Znajdź kapitan Allena, okej. Animacja jest tutaj bardzo fajna, głównego bohatera. Jak może się nazywać, kurwa, inaczej niż Connor? Imię defekta Daniel, to już wiemy. Zawsze będziemy przyjaciółmi. No to jest dokładnie tak jak w AI, sztuczna inteligencja.
At a time when man has become dependent on robots to satisfy our every need.
Pokój zakładnika przeszukany. Nadal mamy tylko 57% szans na powodzenie. No powiem, że ta zabawa w detektywa jest całkiem spoko tutaj. Ciekawsza niż w Batmanie czy w Wiedźminie.
Kurwa, pierdolisz!
Ciekawe, co oglądał na iPadzie akurat, odblokuj. Ciekawe, że mogę tak odblokować sobie. A tam co? Pornhub, z androidami. Dobra, czyli android się wkurwił, że miał zostać zastąpiony. O to chodziło. Przeszedł obok stolika i przesunął krzesło. Dobra, jakieś protesty tutaj są. Zniszczyć roboty chcą, okej. Narodowcy. Na szczęście policja jest po naszej stronie. Zupełnie jak w Polsce. No, mamy tu bardzo szeroko pokazany rasizm, no. No i klasyczne zabiegi. Żeby otworzyć drzwi, trzeba gałką ruszyć. Wygląda jak mieszkanie głównego bohatera z Heavy Rain. Chyba lubią takie klimaty.
Nie myliej, bo ostatnio ja mówiłam ciągle Ace of Base albo Ace of Space, a miało być Ace...
Ace Combat.
Ace Combat. Raz, dwa, trzy, cztery, pięć, sześć, siedem, osiem. Nie, wysyła mi.
Do Marka Zuckerberga wysyła. Son of Jamaica. Gdzie masz swoje to kółeczko takie, które robi ping?
Maćku, jak ciebie widzę, to za każdym razem tak mi się po prostu buzia uśmiecha. Świetna koszulka.
Dziękuję. Bluza Kaczora Dafiego. Ja jestem z tych, co to lubią postaci, które zwykle obrywają w życiu. Tak jak Kaczor Daffy, tak jak Tom z Tom i Jerry, czy tak jak Kaczor Donald z Myszki Miki.
Dziękuję ci bardzo za rozmowę.
Dziękuję.
Aren't you going to school today?
Dzień dobry wszystkim, z nami jest nasz gość. Please tell everyone who are you and what you are doing in Quantic Dreams.
So my name's Adam Williams and I'm lead writer at Quantic Dream, which is the studio that created Detroit Become Human.
Okay, you are from?
I'm from London.
From London, yeah, okay. So
I'm
England,
100%
okay.
British.
100%, yeah, I can feel it in
You
your
can sense
accent.
it, right?
Yeah, I can sense it. I can hear it in your accent.
Okay.
The first question is, how was it when you were eaten by dogs playing Ramsay Bolton in Game of Thrones?
How was it?
Yeah. You look identically like him. Yeah, I tell you, look identically like him. And when I saw you, I thought,
You thought Ramsay Bolton is here?
Yeah.
I'm very different on the inside,
Yeah, maybe.
even if I'm similar on the outside.
In the episode of Game of Thrones, we could see how he was inside.
Yeah, you saw him literally from the inside. Yeah.
Literally from the inside.
Also, his accent's very different.
Yeah, he is. He's. I think he's from
I think the
Ireland.
I think the
yeah?
actor is Welsh.
Welsh. Yeah.
Well, he is, but I think in Game of Thrones he had a different accent. I think he had a Northern English accent.
Okay, tell me one thing. The thing we were playing today, the code.
Yes.
It will be in the game?
Yes.
Or not?
Yes.
So
it's the beginning of the game.
Oh, so I spoiled myself. Okay.
We should have warned you.
Yeah.
It's Act 1 of the
It's
game.
Act 1.
It's like the beginning. But what I would say is that Act 1 shows you how Kara and Marcus can become deviant and introduces you to Connor. But from the point at which you played, it really becomes your story.
Yeah, I know. I've saved a girl. I didn't jump with Markus Zuckerbergus.
Okay.
And the sniper shoot the deviant.
So how many of the scenes did you play? Just that one?
3.
Okay,
3 scenes, yeah.
So did you get the interrogation, for example?
No, I didn't get the interrogation. No. Okay. No interrogation. I was doing only on the roof. Then I was fighting the mob with Marcus.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And after that, I was a cleaning lady. Yeah.
For Kara in
for Kara.
Yeah. So even in the code you played today, there's 2 scenes that can be missed.
Okay.
So there's an investigation as Connor.
Yeah.
Where if you find the suspect in the next scene, you interrogate him. But if you don't find the suspect, there's no interrogation.
Ah, okay.
So and similarly, you can actually lose.
So a whole scene, I can miss a whole scene.
And that happens a lot in
not
the game.
only a cut scene, but whole scene.
Yeah, an entire playable scene, and also those playable scenes will have secondary characters in, who for some people become very important. So on this tour, we've had people say, this particular character, why did you choose to make them so central to the story?
Okay.
And I have to say, some people didn't even meet that character.
Okay.
Because it really depends on your playstyle. So.
Yeah, it's the same like in Game of Thrones. There's so many characters that you don't even know which one George Martin will kill.
Yes, well, I think there's also a slight Game of Thrones factor in knowing you can lose characters.
Okay, yeah.
Because if you can lose,
like in Canon Fodder.
Yeah, and if you know you can lose a character, not just secondary characters but playable characters, you pay so much more attention to your choices.
It was in Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, that the game informed you that if you will be doing poorly, the game will erase your saves.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting that, because I think what's unusual about Detroit is that losing characters is not the result of playing badly. Mm-hmm. Which I appreciate is quite unusual.
Yeah, because you can't play badly because you are choosing the story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's more like the choices you make will have consequences and you're writing your own story. But we really wanted, when a player's making a choice, we didn't want them to worry, how do I win the dilemma? Like, what's the choice I make to get the best story? Because there isn't a best story. The idea is that all the stories are equally satisfying and interesting in their own way. And so you're free as a player to think about what you really want to do or what you really think, rather than trying to win.
I was asking if it was the code or it was the game, because I remember when Heavy Rain was being released, there was a mission called Taxidermist, and this mission wasn't in the game, and everybody was thinking, what the hell, where's that mission, where is it? So I thought that it would be the same, but no, okay, I get it.
Yeah, and we showed, I think you'll know from the stuff you've done before, it's quite unusual to show as much as we've shown. And that, I think, was because one of the things we spent a lot of time on with Detroit was making sure that not only each scene can bend, depending on your choices, but that the consequences carry through into other scenes, so
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
I get
see
it.
how, so that showing that the story kind of resonates, the choices you make continue to resonate right up until the end of the game, was a priority.
And you were talking about replayability, especially
It's a tough word in English, right?
Yeah, replayability.
Yeah.
You've got checkpoints out
Yes.
there, and I remember that David Cage once said that he wants people to play Heavy Rain only once. Even that there are many endings, he wanted people to play only once because there's a one-time experience. And here is the really opposite, because you can go back, check everything,
Yeah.
and see all the stuff you missed.
If I'm honest, I think what David will have meant by that is that on a first playthrough, it's more interesting for people, I think, if they don't jump back in the middle of a playthrough. So
Yeah.
you know when you play Choose Your Own Adventure book,
Yeah, like
and you
Life
hold
is
the
Strange
page,
when you are rewinding the time because
something went wrong, and it means that when you make choices, you kind of check, is that good for me? Oh no, I'll go back
I
and do
know, I
something
know
different.
that. I know the feeling.
And even with the flowchart allows you to jump around prior to your first playthrough. But what we found talking to players is that most players force themselves to complete their first playthrough and then use the replayable feature after the first playthrough is completed. Now, that's important, I think, because for us as writers, the challenge is if you get a case, if something happens in your story and you feel like it's not the real story, or it's not as interesting as it feels like a bad case, that's a design failure, because each choice is supposed to be free. And I mean, if you lose all your playable characters before the end of the story and we just smashed the credits, you're going to think, I made a mistake. I need to go back and choose something different.
It's possible. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can lose all your you can lose any or all of them
Okay.
before the end. And when that happens, we needed to make sure that the game still had a sense of an ending and still felt meaningful, and you still thought, I got the full experience, but just my version.
Yeah.
So the replayability is about exploring different paths rather than looking where's the real ending.
Yeah, because many games are now with choices, like Telltale games, like Life is Strange, like Until Dawn, and it's like that you made choices, hundreds of choices, but still two endings, and that's all. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, this is the other argument I think for showing the flowchart in the way that we have, because you can see, like the hostage scene you referred to,
Yeah.
there's 7 endings, and there's lots of different ways of arriving at those 7 endings. And you can see that as soon as you finish a scene, you can see the playthrough you had and how unusual it is in the context of all the other playthroughs. And that's because it is very easy to have choices if you don't manage the consequences.
Yeah, of course.
As a designer, you can fill a game with choices if you don't manage the consequences. Because
Sorry for interrupting, but last question.
Okay.
because we spend so long managing consequences, we really wanted the player to see and feel that.
Don't you think that the topic and the plot is a little bit exploited? Because, I see similarities to Ghost in the Shell, to Armitage, Polymatrix, and Blade Runner, of course, yeah. And
People normally just say Blade Runner,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you're
of course.
already a level deeper by mentioning
level
Ghost in the
deeper,
Shell,
yeah.
etc.
And Black Mirror, the ring thing in the whole 4th season of Black Mirror. There's a thing. I know we are living in. It's not it's a future. It's now. I think it's a real
Absolutely,
bit
you're
now.
absolutely right.
So don't you think it's a little exploited over?
So I'd say 2 things. I'd say the first is, although the game has a sci-fi conception in the idea of androids, as you've said, that's really used in Detroit. What's different about Detroit, I think, is we use the sci-fi angle to talk about very universal themes. So whether that is man's relationship with his technology, or prejudice in general, social inequality, there's a group with power and a group without power. Androids can stand in for any oppressed group in that sense.
Yeah, I saw the mob scene with the mob scene. It looked like in Poland, the protest in Poland.
But you see, that's fascinating that you
Yes.
say that, because everybody we talk to, every market we speak to people in, they see something different.
Okay.
People focus on everything. In our hope as writers was that by telling a story that had this universal theme of division, everybody would see their own society in it somehow. The game would be a mirror of any society because it has this universal feature of all human societies in the story. So exactly as you've said, there's this rich sci-fi tradition which we tried to draw on, but I think we tried to make it a bit unusual, first in that the sci-fi is a way of exploring real social issues.
And racism problem, I see.
You could see racism, you could see sexism, you could see all kinds of things in it.
Yeah.
But also, because you write the story, it's up to you as a player to decide how you feel about these issues. You know, you can't... Detroit is not an inherently dystopian vision, for example. There's a version of the game where if the player feels optimistic about AI and thinks that it's a new opportunity for humanity, it's a new horizon, they can reflect that in the choices they make.
Well, I think I will destroy humanity. And I hope I will find Eminem in the Detroit.
No comment. Let's see. Buy the game and find out.
Look.
Dobrze, i po pokazie, po wywiadzie, bardzo fajny ziomek. Znaczy przykro mi, że go zabili w grze o Tron, nie wiem czy to wiedzieliście. Jakie mam wrażenia? Przede wszystkim ja się obawiam oczywiście jednego, że to są za duże słowa, że tak naprawdę wszystko możemy zmienić, że jest tyle zakończeń i tak dalej, bo generalnie ja już się przyzwyczaiłem do tego i nawet jak autorzy mówili o tym, że gry będą miały tyle, a tyle zakończeń, to okazuje się, że jest troszeczkę inaczej i tak naprawdę dostajemy 2-3 jakieś możliwości i nasze decyzje, które podejmujemy w trakcie, one nie mają większego znaczenia. Tak jak było w Life is Strange, tylko te takie wytłuszczone decyzje miały jakieś znaczenie. To samo było w Walking Dead. Czasami myślisz sobie, że coś ma znaczenie, a się okazuje, że nie ma żadnego. Więc no to jest ten problem. Natomiast tak, sama gra no, wygląda genialnie, wygląda świetnie. Uwaga, teraz schodzę ze słońca. Gra wygląda świetnie. Animacja jest tam przepiękna. Tak jak mówiłem, kupiło mnie totalnie to, jak bohater przechodzi obok stołu i przesuwa krzesło. Tylko to. I to był taka mała pierdoła, ale fajna. No fajne jest lizanie ścian tam, sprawdzanie różnych rzeczy. Nie ma aż tak wielu możliwości, ale mimo wszystko jakieś są, więc to jest super. Fabularnie ja się za bardzo obawiam troszeczkę tego, że to będzie kolejny Black Mirror. Znaczy to nie jest też zarzut, bo to może być naprawdę coś fajnego. No, mamy tam różne motywy, jest tam rasizm, jest właśnie ta nietolerancja i to wszystko jest tam fajnie pokazane. No mam nadzieję, że to zostanie jeszcze bardziej tam uwypuklone. Gra zapowiada się naprawdę ciekawie. Oczywiście są obawy jak przy właśnie, bo za duże mam oczekiwania nawet po tej godzinie grania. Rosną moje oczekiwania względem tej gry i boję się, że w pewnym momencie one mogą być za wysokie, a to też z drugiej strony sam sobie robię krzywdę, bo nie powinienem oczekiwać czegoś wielkiego, tylko po prostu cieszyć się i zobaczyć, kiedy będzie premiera. W każdym razie ta godzina gry spowodowała, że naprawdę jeszcze bardziej czekam na tę premierę, która jest chyba za miesiąc, jakoś 25 maja. No to i tak. I pamiętajcie o tym, że to wszystko to nie jest przyszłość. To jest kurwa teraźniejszość. My właśnie żyjemy w takim czasie, w takim okresie i to już puka do naszych drzwi z takim kurwa tutaj dinksem kółkowatym. No i tyle. Pa!